Hey, oh, hey. Question, ladies. Why do we ask for advice when it comes to dating, especially if we're single and we want to have that relationship, have that marriage? And when people give us our opinion or the opinions of what they believe would work, we want to argue against it. Well, Auntie, what are you talking about? There's this video. I'm going to show a clip of it. These women call in every day and talk to Tony McElvin, and on his panel he has several men, not just him, that gives women and talk with them about a man's perspective. And a lot of times, instead of listening to what the men are saying, they're talking so much they miss the point. And I can say that as a recovered woman such as that. Because I don't think we realize how much we talk. Okay? So, and also when we are not getting what we say that we want, at some point we have to question ourselves, because why are we attracting certain types of men? Now, let's look at this clip right here.
No, you chop off the testicles. That's weak. You chop off the testicles and leave them for the man. You just got to do it. What he's saying is you just got to do it. Seriously. I'm gonna take those. Men are so weak. Yeah, I'm gonna take those. I'm gonna take the opposite road. I'm gonna take the opposite road. So maybe, like you said, I really think I can kind of hear something different. Everybody hears different, like they want to. Just my opinion. I think that man is out there that you feel like can lead you. It's like pastoring. Everybody can't be your pastor. Everybody can't be your best friend. Everybody can't be your lover. You just got to find yours. And when you find that right man that can meet your energy, that's it. And if you're willing to sacrifice until that time comes, it is your life. You know what? I got one suggestion before you go. I got one suggestion. Mm-hmm. I think the type of man or where you need to put yourself, maybe you need to go and hang out where retired military men are. I always like men in uniform. Then that's your way to go. I always admire men. The uniforms could be bus drivers and they're not, no. You need to go with somebody that got like 12 stripes, eagle, sword. Yeah, straight up. That's who you need. Go on 9/11. Go down to New York.
Now, before you all say, well, Auntie, we don't know the context. The context was she came up on his show asking the men on the show, because she came on the show saying that she wants to meet someone, she wants to be with someone. Yet at every turn, when the men were giving her their opinion as to courses of action, she had a yeah, but, or men are this, men are that. Never considering the fact that when you point your finger at someone else, three of them are pointing back at you. She talked about, they said, maybe she needs a military guy. Well, I'm going to tell you why that may not work. May or may not work. I'm a very strong personality, and I knew that. My daughter's father, my ex-husband, a military person, and because my mind was not fixed, or my way of conducting myself when I engaged with a man was not where it should be. So we butt heads the whole time, because as like she said, she felt that she was more of a man than some of the men. Well, it begs the question, what kind of men are you attracting? And would a man who comes to you in his full authority, would you respect him enough to yield? And I can say from my past experience, I did not. So what happens? You lose respect for the man because you don't yield to him, but there's something that you have to do. Okay? I mean, it really escapes me. And then sometimes these women come on these shows, particularly Tony's, they talk too darn much. Shut up. Now, just so you think that that I'm being harsh, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this. Let's check it out.
To dealing with couples who are having issues, and we seem to be having a very serious marital issue here.
Yes.
With me cutting him off
Yes.
sometimes and correcting him a little bit.
Have you seen her interrupt me all the time?
You've been charged with a marital misdemeanor. Stepping on you.
Thank you, Judge.
Stepping on your man's sentences.
Yes.
So, what I need is some evidence or proof so I can make a decision as to whether or not your interruptions are appropriate.
Oh, I have tons of proof, tons of evidence.
Let's see it.
Number one, okay, she's received several comments about it on Twitter, on Facebook. Here's a few. Shawnee, for instance, she posts, "This is a great show, but Nicole, please let Boris finish his sentences. There's nothing more annoying than getting interrupted." That's number one. Then Ricky says, "Nicole, fans are starting threads being annoyed by you cutting Boris off consistently. You need to check that." Lastly, I have the best evidence of all. Caught on tape. Take a look. So you'd be worried that it's
You know what?
impact his brand?
I just gotta say, sorry to cut you off.
It's sometimes hard for the man to be able to relate to what you're going through.
You know what I think? I'm sorry, baby.
Thanks for interrupting me.
That's
again. That's another thing that you're
that's
gonna
marriage.
face. It's called
Here we go.
adilete. Because
And what comes-
can I please? Can I please finish? See, I figured out when to talk to you. That's why she keeps interrupting me. Yeah.
No, we have some serious interruption issues. I know it.
You have some serious interruptions. See, I mean, it's right there. It's right there in front of you. You can't even deny it. What do you have to say for yourself?
Okay. Judge Lynn.
Yes.
Now, I love my husband. Yes, and we've been married for 10 happy years. But my English is his second language.
What kind of excuse is that? What kind of excuse?
I came out here looking to help her out a little bit because she didn't look bad. She didn't give me a chance.
No.
She didn't give me a chance.
She's being discriminatory against me.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
I want to correct that so bad.
I know you do.
Okay.
And I know it's hard. I feel your pain. I've been married 26 years. It took me 20 to figure this part out. They think like this. We think like boom, 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 boom.
You're so right.
And so, my husband didn't get to finish the sentence for 20 years.
Oh my God.
I thought I was expediting, is what I thought I was doing. You know, he would start because I know, and you wait. That's what I'm saying.
Do you see this? Do you see what's going on here?
Did you see it?
This is like an explosion of brainwaves between two people. I can't even relate to that.
See, you gotta learn to breathe into it and believe that thought you have that you gotta say will still be there when he gets done.
This is so true. And listen, ladies, particularly, for those of you who don't know, me and my husband have been together for 6 years, married for 5. We're coming up on our 7th year together in July. So I met him at 51. So the longer you are single and by yourself, and or you are a single parent and you're used to regulating, the older you are, the more of yourself you become. And if you don't have anyone to engage with on a regular basis, you don't realize how much you talk. I didn't. Okay. And my husband speaks slowly because men, like Judge Lynn, men think straightforward, and women, we are all over the place and we want to get it all out. And my husband speaks slowly. So what I had to learn to do, like Judge Lynn said, wait till he finishes, and if I think I'm going to forget, write it down. Because that is part of the respect and consideration, ladies. And men communicate very differently than we do. And I didn't understand that. So when you have experts like her, and I love Judge Lynn, shout out to her. She was married for, gosh, I don't know how many years before her husband went on to be on to glory. And I know how hard this is for her even now. As I was saying, I love Judge Lynn. She had been married for 33 years before her husband went to before he transitioned in 2022. And of course, we know her from being on Divorce Court. So, of course, this was on Boris and Nicole's show. I'm assuming it was several years ago. But sometimes, again, ladies, we don't realize how much we talk, and we need to, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that should speak to how important it is, how more important it is to listen than to speak. So that's the first part. The second part, I want to share this with you, another clip that Judge Lynn is speaking knowledge, and let's pay attention.
Weak because it'll turn around on you. You can get him to do what you need him to do, but you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It lives with them. And so I know what his weaknesses are. He don't know I know they're there. Because I don't mention them, don't talk about them, and I don't, now I talk about my weaknesses all day long. But he.
How do you learn about a man's weaknesses?
Well, I've been with the brother. I know where he's weak. I do. I know what bothers him. I know what he doesn't like. I know, like, he never asked me to put up Christmas lights. And I didn't for years because I'm not a celebratory person. And then I saw him go into somebody's house and he was like, wow, with the Christmas decorations. I said, this brother likes the Christmas decorations. He ain't gonna ask me to do it. He ain't gonna say we need to do this. So the next year, I went all out. Brother loved it.
Wow.
You watch him. You pay attention. I love this guy. What's he doing? What makes him smile? Oh, that makes him smile. Let me go over home and do that. So, and like this year, I got all new Christmas stuff. I wrap all the presents in coordinated colors because he likes it. He never asked for it, but I paid attention and I gave it to him.
You gotta be present.
Present, looking and willing to learn. And I don't expect our marriage to go well. I work my marriage like a job every day. It's the most important job I got. Well, mother, maybe, but it's the most important job I got. And you know how much time you guys put into this, don't you?
Right.
The light, you got the right light. You ain't got the almost right light.
Right.
And if the light goes out, you pay attention to it. Most people don't do that in their relationship. They don't like, what can I do today? How's he feeling? What's going on? Is he happy? Is he struggling? If he's struggling, I don't want to talk to him about his struggle, but I'm going to A, do something to make it easier, or B, do something, because you men are cool. This is what I like about y'all. Y'all can be struggling over here, but if you show him a good time over there, he can put that down for a second and just have the fun.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. He can't distract me. If I got a problem, this brother got to sit down and talk to me about it. He got to listen to the whole thing. But you learn, and it's a job, and you work that job. And when you work a job well, that job pays well.
Did you hear her say, when you work a job well, it pays well, and you work your marriage like a job? Listen, and I'm going to tell you this now, before y'all come over here talking about, well, what about this and this? Well, what about this? I don't care. Because all the negative stuff is a possibility. We know this. We know about the divorce rates. I don't care about the divorce rates. I'm only concerned about my marriage rate. Because it's interesting when it comes to talking about the positive things, such as, getting together, we want to throw in all the negative bombs of what could likely happen. But we surely want to talk about the positivity when we talk about the chances of women specific, generally Black women specifically, being married. Well, it could happen. Yes, it could happen. The good could happen. The bad could happen. What's the probability on both sides of the coin? That's what we need to be focusing on. So pay attention. She talked about, her husband never asked her to do it, but she noticed how he responded when they went to a neighbor's house. I'm constantly paying attention to my husband. As a matter of fact, the other day we were FaceTiming, and I could tell something was wrong with him. I said, everything okay? Have a good day. And he said, Yeah, but I could tell, not so much. So, but the next day we talked, he said, well, I didn't really want to tell you about it. And he kind of told me some of the stuff he encountered on the road. Again, I'm paying attention because, ladies, we want our men to pay attention to us constantly. And we have to be present, looking and paying attention and ready to learn. Again, like I said, I have been divorced from my ex-husband since 2002. I met my husband in 2018. That's a long time. It's a long time to be only really concerned with yourself. Now, yes, I had relationships that didn't work out, but we're talking about really engaged in the process to ultimately yield my what I wanted, which was marriage. But I had to say, too, some of the things I contributed to, because, again, the common denominator in every relationship I had was me. And I'd been one of those women, said, this man is weak and he doesn't. Well, and even my daughter said, well, Mom, it's not your fault that the men, that they were weak. And I had to correct her. I was like, no, they weren't necessarily weak. But when a man realizes that a woman is not going to yield to his leadership, he'll do a couple of things. He'll leave, or he'll leave and stay. So I had those instances on several occasions. They were there, but not. Or they just said, hey, I'm not dealing with it. And again, me talking about what they did wrong, not talking about what I did wrong. But again, I had to learn and really do a self-evaluation. And I'm telling you, it wasn't overnight. And that's another reason. TJ's life lessons I try to share with you all so you don't hopefully make the same mistakes that I did. But this last video is really going to, make you cry, but it's beautiful. And I shared it with my husband because in the end, isn't this what we all want? This is what I know. That's what I do. And I said, I thank God every day and that I finally got it. Let's check it out.
We've been together for a while now. We're growing stronger every day now. It feels so good and there is no doubt I will stay with you as each morning brings the sunrise and the flowers bloom in springtime. On my love and you can rely, and I'll stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs. Oh, I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark clouds arise, I will stay by your side. And I know we'll be alright. I will stay.
When I tell you, when I saw that, how I cried. When we talk about love stories, that's what we talk about. That's what we should be talking about. Not this superfluous, superficial, shallow. I will stay with you. Married 64 years. Past 10 hours apart. And listen, there's no relationship that's perfect. I'm sure they saw their share of struggles, but they worked through it. And it was until death do they part. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you.